The old car rattled down a long, winding lane. I pressed my face to the cool window, watching the shadows dance. My younger brother, Sam, sat beside me, clutching a worn teddy bear with one button eye. He hadn't said a word since we left the city. We were going to a new home, Blackwood Manor Orphanage. The name sent a shiver down my spine. The woman who opened the door was as grim as the house itself. Her name was Mrs. Blackwood. The inside of the orphanage was even worse than the outside. Mrs. Blackwood led us to a small, sparse room on the second floor with 3 narrow beds. Rules are on the door. Dinner is at 6. Lights out at 9. No exceptions. We unpacked our small bags in silence. There wasn't much to put away. As I sat on my bed, I noticed something carved into the wooden headboard. A name scratched deep into the wood. Eleanor. I traced the letters with my finger, a strange sadness washing over me. Who was Eleanor? After a silent dinner of thin soup and stale bread with the other quiet, pale children, we were sent to our room. At precisely 9 o'clock, she turned the hall light off, and the blackness went absolute. That's when I first heard it. A soft sound, like someone whispering just outside our door. It came again, a faint sighing shh. Like the wind, but there was no wind. Clara and I didn't sleep that night. We lay frozen, listening as the house came alive. Then came footsteps. Not Mrs. Blackwood's heavy steps, something lighter, bare feet. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter-patter. They started at the far end of the hall, raced toward our door, and then stopped. We held our breath, waiting for the doorknob, but it never turned. A faint melodic humming came from within the walls, and sometimes, very late, a soft crying. The sound of a little girl, weeping as if her heart was broken. It was so full of sorrow it was almost more frightening than the whispers. Someone left behind, trapped inside the cold, dark walls of Blackwood Manor. The days were nearly as unsettling as the nights. There was one spot everyone avoided, the bottom of the grand staircase. A strange, persistent coldness lingered there, a pocket of icy air that never went away. Whenever I had to pass it, a deep chill would seep into my bones, making me shiver uncontrollably. The air would grow heavy and still, and the fine hairs on my arms would stand on end. One afternoon, I was coming down the stairs alone. As I reached the last few steps, the cold hit me like a physical blow. For just a second, the air in front of me shimmered, like heat rising from pavement. And in that shimmer, I saw the outline of a little girl. She was small, with long, dark hair, sitting on the bottom step. Her head was in her hands, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. A week into our stay, I found the photograph. The library was a vast, forgotten room smelling of decaying paper and leather. As I ran my dust rag over a row of faded encyclopedias, a small leather-bound photo album fell to the floor. It was tucked away behind the books, as if someone had tried to hide it. Curiosity got the better of me. The album was filled with old, black-and-white photographs of children who had lived at the orphanage long ago. On the very last page was a single photograph of a group of girls standing in the courtyard. In the center was a girl with long, dark hair and startlingly familiar, sad eyes. Underneath the photograph, a caption was written in delicate, looping cursive. "Our girls, summer 1952. I stared at the girl in the center of the photo. It had to be her. It was the girl I had seen on the stairs. Suddenly, the library door creaked open. Mrs. Blackwood stepped into the room, her dark eyes sweeping over me. The humming we heard at night seemed to be getting louder. "It's coming from up there," Clara whispered, pointing at the ceiling. We waited until we were sure the whole house was asleep, then slipped out into the oppressive darkness of the hallway. The doorknob was old and brass, and it was cold as ice under Clara's hand. She took a deep breath and slowly turned it. The door revealed a steep, narrow flight of stairs leading up into absolute blackness. The attic was filled with dusty furniture covered in white sheets, looking like a graveyard of forgotten belongings. In the far corner, behind a stack of old trunks, was a small, child-sized rocking chair. It was moving back and forth, slowly, rhythmically. On the floor next to the rocking chair was a small, dusty music box. It was open, and its tiny metal cylinder was turning, plinking out the sad, simple tune. Sitting in the rocking chair, her back to us, was a small figure. It was a girl with long, dark hair, wearing a simple white nightgown. The little girl turned her head fully towards us. Her face was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes were large, dark pools of infinite sadness. She raised a small, ghostly hand and pointed at one of the old trunks beside her. The message was clear. "Open it." We pulled with all our strength. Inside, on yellowed lace, were a child's treasures. I picked up a small silver locket, tarnished, with an engraving on the front, a star. I opened it. Inside were two tiny, faded photographs. One side, the girl from the rocking chair, Eleanor. Other side, a picture of 3 children. Girl with dark, serious eyes, like Clara. Small, blonde boy with a bright smile, like Sam. In the middle, a girl holding the boy's hand, like me. The letters on the locket were ECSL, Eleanor, Clara, Sam, Lily. I stared, my mind refusing to accept it. We were in the picture. The letters in the trunk told the story. Our parents had died. We were sent here to our great-aunt, Mrs. Blackwood. There had been 4 of us. Eleanor was our little sister. She had been sickly. One night she disappeared from her bed. They said she ran away. The letters, written by our mother, told a different story. Our parents took us away, trying to escape the house's grief. Now, we had been brought back. We turned to the rocking chair. It was empty. The humming had stopped. Only our ragged breathing filled the attic. The coldness began to recede. A profound, heart-wrenching sadness took its place. Eleanor wasn't malevolent. She was a lost little girl waiting for family. She wanted us to remember her. We went back downstairs. The house felt different now. The silence wasn't menacing. It was peaceful. At the bottom of the stairs, the deep chill was gone. Only a faint, lingering warmth remained, like sun on a chair. Something in Mrs. Blackwood changed. The harsh lines around her mouth softened. Maybe she knew. Maybe she'd been waiting too. We don't hear the whispers or footsteps anymore. Sometimes, late at night, I think I hear a faint music box, and I know we're not alone. We are home. All of us. Forever.